to La Paz. Off in the distance as we approach La Paz is Lake Titicaca.
Say that again.
The high altiplano here has no trees.
Yeah, you feel it now, doesn't it? Hey, listen, I found not one, but two Tasmanians. So,
Farmland here looks different than it does in the Midwest.
Prepare for landing.
Zonas de seguridad. Gracias.
Ladies and gentlemen, final preparation for landing. The captain has turned on a no smoking sign. We ask this time that you put out all cigarettes. Ensure that your seat backs are straight up. Your tray tables are stowed and that all carry-on luggage is under the seat in front of you.
find out if they have a pay. If they have a pay.
Sudden drop from El Alto to La Paz. 400 meters. Not quite a cliff, but almost.
So they don't accept dollars, but in that area, and by the way, that church is San Francisco Church. That's the central point for all the tourists visiting La Paz.
It's just after 8 o'clock in the morning and we have arrived and checked into El Presidente, the hotel where we're staying. We're looking up at the steep slope that goes up to El Alto. That's where the airport is, 400 meters higher than where we are now. The drop from El Alto to La Paz is really dramatic. From the stairwell you can see right across the central square to the main church of La Paz. Most women wear long skirts and rebozo show. Frank and Marie are trying to cross the street. They're trying to head over the Cambios to change money.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Puta, scrivere.
Dai, accendo io. Grazie.
Side of that building. Oh my gosh.
Many of the stands have telephones where you can pay a few bolivianos and make your telephone call. There don't seem to be any wiring codes. Streets are narrow and traffic is heavy. Lots of interesting building materials here. Stone, mud, brick. Looks like different part of the market specializes in different things. This is all for cosmetics. Just enough space clear for one person to sit inside. Problemas de educación ambiental. Environmental Education Project. Contaminación del agua, suelo y aire. Contamination of land, our environment and the air. Consequences and causes. We are all La Paz. Protect our environment.
Check this little guy in the white coat.
A ver, vaya,
Y vimos que hay falta de protección a algunos animales que se encuentran fuera de su hábitat. Estos animales son traídos de lugares cálidos, siendo que cambian de
También nos llamó la atención el peligro de extinción de estos animales para evitar su propagación. Estos animales son especies pequeños, como por ejemplo los monos, los visten y para que las plantas y los árboles son pulmones para nuestra ciudad. Utilizamos este trabajo porque podemos ver cómo nuestra ciudad no es la misma que antes. Hay excesiva contaminación del agua, aire, suelos y alimentos. Esto se produce por el humo que el humo que producen las fábricas que se encuentran en el radio urbano de la ciudad, la combustión de vehículos. También en nuestra ciudad tenemos muchos ríos que no están entubados adecuadamente, como el...
Páginas de difusión de información. El gobierno pretende contradecir viva la dictadura proletaria y la escalera móvil. Una manera de identificarse en la casa oficial del maestro a las 5 de la tarde. La participación y asistencia es completamente libre y sin compromiso.
Buildings here seem to hang on the edges of cliffs, which would be well and good if it looks like the cliffs are made out of gravel. The whole valley where La Paz is was once the bottom of a glacial lake. And it flowed away. It left this kind of soil here.
See the signs over here? Look at the frog. Little frog here.
Loosely deposited rock from the glaciers is very easily eroded into strange and bizarre shapes. Call this the Valley of the Moon. Reminds me somewhat of Bryce Canyon.
Or the Badlands or something.
Yeah. Or like a sandcastle, but they poured hardener.
And over there on the other side, the highest golf course in the world.
Bolivia, the statues you see inside are originals. The tall one at the center, as I told you, is called the Pachamama, or Mother Earth. Also the the Bennett monolith, named so after the American archeologist. There are three types, a pink one, a yellow one, and one that has three colors, red, yellow,
Statue was brought here so that more people could see it.
well, perhaps, that was for the commemoration of the 100th anniversary of the independence of Bolivia. That was in 1925. So perhaps, as you say, more people have also realized that. And the idea, the purpose is to take them back to the archaeological site where they belong. So a museum is being built there, and the statues will be accommodated. a man, a military. His name was Gualberto Villajuel. He was a colonel in the army. So they made a revolution and they went to power. That was the end of it. But the rich people, the rich miners, saw the interests affected and they wanted to stop that. And 3 years later, in 1946, this country. But he refused it. He said in Spanish, El Capitan Guadalajara, they shot him, killing him, that's why this is the monument, the lamp post. And many of the graves were also treated at the time.
Do you know if many people go to school?
How many people?
Do you think many people go?
Yes, education is compulsory in Bolivia. I mean, parents are compelled to send their children to school.
Here's an old colonial street.
The museum of the war we have with Chile, the gold museum, and yeah. It's a popular snack. When a person is going, so in that street, the women sell all the ingredients for the table, for the offering to the Pachamama or to the Achachilas, the spirits that live in the mountains. Because of the many vendors, that the street is called the witches' market. Not only food stuff, also bicycles, kitchen stoves, refrigerators, TV sets, computers, cameras, everything. Oh, it's that street that we have at the right side. But we will. And here we see some grains, especially corn. The corn grows plenty in Bolivia in different types. We have the white one, the yellow one, then the gray one, there is another purple one, different types of corn. These are dried lima beans. This is dried peach. You have seen
What is this?
dried peach. Peach, yeah. And you will see in some corners drinks. Yes, yes, it's made with this and sugar and cinnamon. This is a popular drink.
Dried peach.
The dried peach. And you see when I started, the corn, the purple corn, is used also for drinks, a type of chicha. And here we see fresh vegetables like green peas, lima beans, corn, another type of potato called uyuku or papalisa, hot chilies, cucumber, lettuce, radish, and many others more.
Where do these come from?
From the Altiplano and the valleys near La Paz.
Estaba comiendo desde el palo.
In this part we see the animals, like the guinea pigs, original owner. Original of this one.
Barrios of La Paz at night look like a constellation of stars. Part of Lake Titicaca, or Lago de Huila y Marca. This section of Lake Titicaca is very shallow and is joined to a much larger section of Titicaca through a very narrow channel that we are now approaching. Although the lake itself is very cold, never getting much above 12 degrees Celsius, it forms its own eco-climate, evening out the temperatures around the lake so that it rarely gets below freezing. Sides of the slopes are terraced and crops are grown here. Although October and November are mid-spring in Bolivia, the altitude of over 12,000 feet keeps it very cold. The temperature right now is about 6 degrees Celsius.
Are the passengers on board during that?
This is La Isla del Sol. In the Indian stories, the place where the sunlight first touched the earth. At first there was only the lake. And then the god rose up out of the lake and began to make things like the land and the animals and the plants. And it was dark. And then he decided to make the sun. And when he made the sun, this was the first place the sunlight touched the earth in the legend.
Paga assim malha, pessoal.
lake is so large that you cannot even see the other side.
Right now.
These terraced fields contain lima beans, corn, potatoes. This is a very large island, about 30 kilometers long, but only about 500 people live here. This is the trail to the village at the top of the mountain, and our destination for lunch. All the houses, being made of adobe, just seem to be part of the soil.
Oh, look at this fancy
tray. It's a wicked hole.
We're headed on our way to some old Inca ruins on this island. Many of these flowers grow all over the island, filling the air with a wonderful fragrance, very spicy smelling. Rinaldo has stayed behind because he has a bad knee, but the rest of us are continuing on down the hill here, down this road. Headed for the Cathedral of the Sun, built in Inca times. All of a sudden the rocks here look different. I'm just guessing, but because of the strange erosion patterns on the surface, I'm suspecting that this might be limestone.
That's exactly what, so it's the Indiana Strand.
Standing on the ruins right now. These evidently were rooms, their tops long gone. These are little corbelled arches with a single stone across the top. There are little niches built into the walls. Whose purpose, I don't know. And my young guide doesn't know enough English, and I don't know enough Spanish for him to tell me. temple is built with its walls aligned exactly north to south, east and west, and facing the lake here. Looking out from the lower part of the temple, on the equinoxes, the sun would rise directly over the horizon in the distance. Finally back, climbing down this steep path to the beach. The boats here are exceptionally pretty. High prowed because the waves on Titicaca get pretty large sometimes. As we were headed toward La Isla Del Sol, some of the waves looked like ocean swells. Short masts support lateen rigs. La Cordillera Real de los Andes.
Aí mesmo, fazer o filme deles, né? Sinto muito, mas não posso fazer nada.
Como les dije anteriormente, su cima está a 6.088 metros sobre el nivel del mar. A la derecha de esa montaña existe otra. Are like gaps. Then there was that fight and the Illimani with At first, they find the pottery and the artifacts of the third horizon, that is the Inca. The Inca, as they formed an empire.
Just like in Norway. Yes.
nail of gold in one of these small holes. The gold nails were keeping in. One part was, for instance, the light, the other was the darkness. One part was the masculine and the other the feminine. One part was life, the other was death, or one was good, the other was evil. And we have reasons to think that the Tiwanakans had that type of religion because there is another symbol the Tiwanakans had of this cross is that it's always found in couples, in pairs, as if to show that the Tiwanakans believed in the universe formed by two parts. And this is not the only cross, for instance, there is another one here. When we see the Tiwanaku god, you will see that he's holding two staffs, not only one. Usually a staff or a scepter was to represent that the person or the god had power. South America to work the stone and to build big monuments of stone. That was at least 1,000 years before the Incas. 500 to 1,000 years before the Incas, of the sun and the water. It was safer for them to see the sun reflected on the surface of the water than looking straight at the sun. They also watched the movements of the stars and the moon by the reflection of the water. That's showing that. Kalasasaya is in Aymara, and it means the big standing stone. Perhaps the name is because of the gateway of the sun, which we see over there. Later, the sun rises on the middle of the wall. That's the equinox of spring. 3 months later, the sun rises, the solstice of summer, and
This is the Kontiki with a beard, which is very unusual for Inca. The hands folded across the chest. At the bottom, two puma. On the sides, figures of a fox and another fox and a snake. La Puerta del Sol. On the equinoxes, the sun rises directly through this portal to the inside of the temple. The walls of the temple are aligned exactly east and west. The other two sides aligned exactly north and south. Right now at noon, local time cast no shadow whatsoever, marking the meridian.
Laying on its side, covered with grass and then with earth. Only that before the archaeologists, the Spaniards found this statue. Fortunately, they didn't have the time or the means to destroy it completely. But anyway, they placed a cross on the shoulder, on the right shoulder. You can see it better from this. You see the shadow of the cross? That was to exorcise the demon they thought was living in the statue. And then the statue was forgotten until this century. But the one reason, one wonders why the statue was laying on the sand and covered in grass. By later findings, the archaeologists found some heads of the statues and some statues together, using the heads. So another theory was elaborated. At the end of the time, when the drought was in this land, people were starving, they prayed to the gods. They asked the priest to pray, but the gods were not responding. So there was a revolt. The priests were killed, and many of the statues were destroyed.
Listen, what I remember.
Like riding a roller coaster. way down there in the valley is the road where we came from.
Looks like the Grand Canyon, doesn't it?
Certainly does. And still the road climbs. Potosi. We've come about 20 kilometers outside Potosi to Cayara. The place where we're staying was built in 1552, even before the city of Potosi. Many springs at the bases of the nearby hills make this a greener place than anywhere yet we've seen in Bolivia. Willow trees are everywhere, along with many kinds of imported trees such as eucalyptus from Australia and tall poplars from the south of France, and big old cypress trees imported from who knows where several hundred years ago. The original owning family granted title to this entire valley by the King of Spain in 1581 still owns this valley and this house. It has its own church, and high on the slopes behind it you can still see the terraced remains of the old Inca fields. It seems amazing to think that we're staying in a place that was built 54 years before Jamestown. The cactus is in bloom in the courtyard, but you don't want to get too close. Courtyard leads to courtyard.
We can't watch it from in. It's just that if we move in that direction, that chances here increase.
All the rooms look out on the inner courtyard. The family library fills one whole room where modern works sit right alongside books published in the 1700s. The works of Jovellanos published in Madrid in 1829.
didn't have one, you could go in the library.
This is the view out the window from our room. We are high on the slopes above Potosi, on El Cerro Rico, the rich hill, about to take a tour of the mines. Each person has bought a bag of coca leaves to pass on to the people here.
Fácil trabajarlo, la roca que es bastante sólida y dura, ¿no? Dentro de la mina. Una carga de dinamita y una mecha. Yo ya tengo dos. Un minuto más o menos. El ruido es fuerte, por si acaso.
Ah,
oh,
muss man.
A lo mejor eso no es muy fuerte. Tal vez nos falle.
Se pone timbre. ¿Qué?
Ahora sí.
Mira que.
Deep inside the mine, you can certainly tell it's 4,400 meters altitude. You walk along slightly stooped over, get out of breath very easily. There's a small vein of zinc and silver. Passageways go off in all different directions. Go ahead. Climbing up to another level. Let's look in here. My turn. And the next one.
Oh, gracias.
So offers some coca.
There's El Diablo, the owner of this
What were all
place.
these on the wall?
Diese Läufer hat
Papers all on
ein...
the...
Ja. När det kommer hit var det solförmörkt. Ja.
Okay. We're supposed to offer him some?
Ta det till Lalava. Ja. Vi har diskuterat det nämligen i gruppen här om vi skulle till Lalava, om vi skulle vara där i 40-50 sekunder.
Ya.
Ja.
Atención. No voy a comprar. There goes your bet. We'll have to double the seniors' prices at the time.
Oh, you found it today? Is this a theater?
Is this it?
Day has dawned sunny, leaving our fear of clouds, and the group is on their way down the road to a flat spot to set up for viewing the eclipse. The walls along the sides of this stream may be new, but the bridge was built by the Spaniards in the 1500s. These small aqueducts, who knows how old, run throughout the valley, taking water from the one stream to all of the farmland, keeping the whole valley green, making it different from all of the other Bolivian valleys we've seen so far. Well, the excitement has started. First contact, when this first part of the moon begins to cover the sun, has already happened. It'll be about an hour before totality. You can see that one small corner of the sun has already been covered.
Don't look at the sun.
See, it's created by the...
It's now about 20 minutes until totality, and the moon has moved about halfway in front of the sun. Now everyone's concerned because this big bank of stratocirrus clouds is moving toward the sun, and we still have almost 20 minutes until totality. It looks like we're going to be viewing this solar eclipse through this cloud bank. Now there are only 10 minutes left until totality. It's getting very dark, and the herder is having a very hard time trying to keep the cows from all heading home. It's about 2 minutes till totality.
Not that much.
Less,
Less.
I would say.
Everything is getting very dark. Here it goes. And totality. And just above is Venus.
You don't need anything to know. You can look at it.
Oh man, is that beautiful.
Oh, look over here. Stars over here.
This is Venus to the upper right of the eclipsed sun.
There's another star in the south. There's Sirius and Canopus.
Where?
Behind us. Is anybody timing totality?
No.
I'm having too much fun.
There's a star over to the right.
Minute and a half.
2 stars. Over to the right. Oh, I can't show you where.
But the horizon, look at the horizon, it's beautiful.
Okay, John, cut off my old dog.
Even coca lips.
Oh, those bird ducks.
La pone en la cajita ahí. Help me with the box. I'm going to put it down.
Okay, great.
climbing up the side of the mountains to the ruins at Samaipata. There's about 5,000 feet of elevation, about 3 hours drive outside Santa Cruz.
So you think that stone, that wall up there was put up there by the Incas?
No.
Up
Well,
on top.
yes, these stones, yes. These stones here, yes, they built
But
this.
the ones above where the chin is...
Yeah, they carved the stone, maybe it was all plain,
Before the archaeologists came, this was all covered.
Oh.
That's interesting little site.
This long rectangular structure, about 70 yards long, was only discovered a couple months ago. An international team of archaeologists is excavating now and still doesn't have any guesses about what it is. This slight hump in the vegetation marks yet another that has yet to be uncovered.
Nothing like him.
This is Main Street in Samaipata. Santa Cruz is very different than any of the other cities we've visited. Many thousands of feet lower and more centrally located. It's tropical in climate. The temperature here this morning is about 78 degrees and humid. The air is filled with the perfume of flowers and wet vegetation. In fact, it has the feel much more of Hawaii than any place else. They're making really sure that no drugs are going aboard this airplane.